Welcome back. Another episode of Elements of the Unknown.
What impression is that?
I just mean like yodeling.
Oh.
I'm Jason McGray with your co-host.
Justin Hugh. How's
I'm
it going?
sorry, that probably destroyed your ears on this audio. You know what? To be honest, I forgot that I was supposed to do another version of the introduction of Elements of the Unknown until I got to it, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta do something right now. And I just like yodeled.
I mean, if that's yodeling.
Well, I was like, I wasn't really yodeling, but like, I didn't want to like belt something out over the audio. Just like totally redline everything, bust people's eardrums, doing Bigfoot calls over here.
I was going to at the game.
Yeah.
But I was like...
So, Justin was at a hockey game not too long ago, and I messaged him while he was at the game, and I'm like, dude, do a Bigfoot call so I could hear it on TV. Yeah. Oh my god, it would have been amazing. We should go out and video us doing Bigfoot calls. Like, let's go find a chunk of wood somewhere and just like start knocking the trees on the woods and do Bigfoot calls.
That would be amazing. I have a wooden bat at home too.
We just pick up a branch, dude. That's what Bigfoot uses. You think he's like, he stops at the sports store and he's like, I need a baseball bat so I can test the trees.
He doesn't. So, before anyone thinks that this episode is about anything,
it's about everything.
Every once in a while we're gonna dip into just random chill out, whatever comes to our mind, we're gonna shoot the shit about, just to kind of give our minds a break, give everybody's minds a break to kind of just like dive into whatever's on our mind, whether it be about the occult or whatever's going on.
So let's be honest, like we listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of different podcasts from different people.
Yeah.
I even listen to different genres of podcasts.
Yeah. Same.
Have you ever listened to the OHL podcast?
No. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't.
Go check it out.
Okay.
So there's all kinds of them that we could like. I mean, there's Euphemet, Haunted Objects podcast. Like, I'm just gonna like what up.
You're throwing out the keys, eh?
Yeah, like throw them all out there. Like big up to all these people. There's so many, like the Haunted Road. Amy Bruni does. A lot of people listen to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, where I started with podcasts was a podcast from, and I know a lot of people will cringe, called Impulsive with Logan Paul, Mike Malak, more recently George Janko. Great chemistry from those three. Now, when you and I are talking, I'm like, we got great chemistry together. We riff really well off of each other, which we do. Those three, it's like jump rope, man. Like, you don't know who's coming in next. And I find, like, the third guy is very chaotic in a sense where it's like two guys work really well, but the third guy is kind of like, where does he fit in? And so the third guy, they call him, where he sits, it's called third chair. And he's very hard to get in. But when he talks, like, it's great. So I listen to a lot of their podcasts, and it's, like, very comedic based. So if you want a good laugh, like that was one of the ones that I really started off on. And they actually had Alex Jones on one of their podcasts, which was huge. And I didn't realize how huge at the time till I really started taking a deep dive into the occult. And listening back to what he was saying, I'm Alex Jones, going on about the elves, and he was going on about like government stuff. Like he's very flip-flop. He was one of their longest episodes that they had. And then I heard a lot of people talking about Joe Rogan. Yeah. And even at the beginning, like a lot of his stuff was occult. Like
there is a bunch. Yeah. Joe Rogan's all over though.
He is all over.
It all depends on the guest that's on.
And I heard going on to his podcast takes a lot of energy out of you because it's like 3-4 hours long.
Sometimes, yeah. Some of them are really long. I mean, we used to do podcasts that were like 1 to 2 hours sometimes, and it can get a little draining, but sometimes the time passes so quickly you don't even realize it.
Our episodes are half-hour long, and it's like, oh, you're already saying, okay, guys, and I'm like sitting here like,
you're like,
really?
I'm like cutting you off, and you're like, I want to keep going. I'm like, great, let's hit stop and start recording again.
Yeah, and which, little bit of so transparency there, guys. Like,
we do record a few at a time.
Yeah.
So, which is fine because it gives us a chance to, while you guys are getting those weekly episodes, if we need to, we can take the time instead of recording and going out and making more content, like video content and other things that we can do to bring you. So that's why we try to bank as much audio podcasts as we can, and without kind of dating them. I try not to like date our podcasts. Sometimes it happens by accident, but
I mean, it's gonna happen, guys.
Like, you're gonna hear this episode in 1, 2, 3 to 4 weeks after it's been recorded, and we're recording on Easter weekend. So
there you go.
There you go. Yeah, and you're probably going to hear this in either last weekend of April.
It might even get put off for a week if we do something special.
Right. So that's the thing we talked about before. I talked about is that when we get into doing interviews, I might just like take an interview episode and slot it in somewhere and push back one of the scheduled podcasts. Just push it back a week so that we can do the recordings. But what I was talking about with all the different podcasts that we listen to is that almost kind of like, I'm not ripping them off, but like I like to take ideas from the formats of all the different podcasts and take pieces of the way they do things and try to use those elements naturally for ourselves. Just in all different ways that people do podcasts. So,
I think we're really doing our own thing.
We are. And having like structured topics week after week is one way of doing it. But another way of doing it is just sitting here and having a conversation. If you get a chance, go listen to What's Up Weirdo with Tenny. And his is very much just a telephone conversation. Yeah. And that's all they do the whole episode is they just riff on whatever they want to talk about. And that's really cool. But I'll also listen to stuff like recently I've been listening to like more indie stuff that's like not as like massive audience. Like I'm listening to one right now called Perfectly Paranormal. Okay. And it's a lady in Australia.
Yeah, you showed me that. Yeah, you were showing me the page today, I believe.
And she's listened to some of our stuff. I've listened to hers. It's been like I've listened.
I
to
love the feedback that she gave.
Yeah, it's great, and her episodes are really cool.
Okay.
She has a ton of experience.
I'll be honest, I haven't listened to an episode yet.
And she goes through each episode. She's talking about experiences or case files or whatever,
right?
And what she does and who she is.
Yep.
And that's kind of cool. So I'd like to take elements from different things, and I guess like this is our like What's Up Weirdo type. Like we're just talking about
just kind of
this is
riffing
like
off of whatever, right?
Like we're just man, I've been watching like so much stuff, like watching obviously all my Newkirk stuff. I love Greg and Dana.
I love that you put me onto those guys. There's been so many times where I've kind of like nonchalantly mentioned them in our episodes, but I didn't want to give anything away yet. Honestly, I love that you put me onto them. They're amazing. I look at them as the king and queen of the paranormal world. They're very
realistic, down to earth, super knowledgeable,
easy to love, man.
But they're also like the independent, everyday people.
Yep.
And yet they are friends with tons of people that are on network TV.
Yep.
Tons of people that aren't. They just have like a really big network. They've been doing things for a really long time. There's so much to their world that you can be a part of. Just go check out. You can just go check out the Newkirks. They have like the traveling paranormal museum for the occult and stuff. They can check everything they have out. Go watch Hellier. That's what got me started. Like I don't even think you finished Hellier yet.
I haven't finished it because honestly, it's a lot to take in.
It can be.
I find it overwhelming.
I get that it's overwhelming,
in a good way.
But I want when I try to put somebody on Hellier, the idea is just to get you to get through all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get through all of it, you're going to want so much more of it. And you'll probably most likely go back and watch it a second time.
More likely.
I've watched Hellier, I think, about 6 or 7 times.
Okay.
And every time I watch it, you just find something a little more. Hellier is what put me on to Euphomet with Jim Perry.
Yeah,
They mention it in the first episode, and I was like, I'm gonna go check that out. And
they do a lot with each other.
You know what? In the paranormal community, everybody seems to cross over every once in a while here and there. Most of the people kind of cross paths together and stuff.
You know who
and sometimes
I'm really
you
hoping?
don't know that in behind the scenes that they cross over or know each other. And there was another podcast recently I've been listening to was by the Searchers.
Yeah, The Paranormal Mind.
The Paranormal Mind. And they talked about, I put you on an episode I listened to before you, and I said, go listen to it quick. Where they talk about the community just needing...
How we lean on each other.
Yeah.
I want to do something with them bad.
Needing to come together and carrying off of each other's work instead of everybody trying to compete and become, I'm the best thing since blah, blah, blah. And I'm no, nobody's trying to reinvent the wheel here. Research is research, and when you research anything else, like they said, like doctor researches something medically, the next doctor or scientist comes in and doesn't try to start over again. He goes based off of the research that's done and keeps continuing on.
And and they're right. When they were talking about this community, we very much so lean on the next person.
Right? I mean, obviously, like, I don't get my knowledge out of thin air.
No, man. It's because somebody else is saying it.
Like, when I say that I'm a researcher, I don't just, like, I'm not just, like, saying I'm a bookworm. Yeah, I got a lot of books. I'm building a library, and I love to go and buy as much paranormal books as I can. I'd love to just... Man, I want to win the lottery and have a whole room that's like a library that you walk in. It's just wall-to-wall books.
Every bookworm's dream, though.
Right? And that's something, but that's just one piece of my research. I watch everything I can watch, whether I enjoy it or not.
You're addicted.
So whether I like it, whether I like the people in it, whether I don't like the people, the show, if I don't like the show, if I do like the show, I'm watching everything.
Info is info at that point.
Right.
Yep.
And as well, I'm looking online, I'm listening to podcasts. So I'm doing all of this, watching videos online. Like, I'm researching absolutely everywhere I can. And this is one of those things where I say, a lot of people that say, oh, I want to come out and ghost hunt with you. I want to be a part of the team. And those people, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to say everybody, 9 times out of 10, they just want to come out and do the thrill seeking. Mm-hmm. They don't want to do the
They're expecting to see something.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but I mean...
I don't know, man. I will say I feel like everybody who comes out with us is expecting to see something. They end up leaving with a bad taste in their mouth because they don't... Sorry, I'm getting a little heated right now.
Yeah, bring it down, man.
Bring it down. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
It frustrates me when people get the wrong... and we try to tell them, too, before we even go out. Listen, something may not happen. We might go there, nothing will happen. Yeah. Something might happen. You don't know. That is the true risk that you take by going out and doing an investigation.
So, yeah. And it's... I'm not so much getting to the point where what their expectation is. It's just people more want to do the front end work of doing the investigating part, or sorry, the field work part. They want to go out to the location, play with the toys, see if they can have an experience, and then go home and be done. So it's almost like it's a paid attraction.
Okay. That
they're not paying for.
Sure.
They just want to come out with us because they know us. Like, your buddy goes, hey, I want to come out ghost hunting with you. Because it's like an event for the night. It's like, to them, it might be like going to the movies or going mini putt or going wherever. You know, throwing battle axes at the wall or whatever. And then one night they go ghost hunting. And that's cool. I'm glad that people are interested in that stuff. But what I'm saying my level is, that's why I say I'm a researcher. Because when I'm not out in the field, because I don't go in the field very much anymore, but I want to get back to it.
Sure.
So while I'm not doing the field work, I'm obsessing over researching all the time. And with me kind of not really shying away, a little bit shying away from ghost research.
Okay.
And moving more towards like just an overall unknown approach, which is why we're doing this podcast.
Yep.
Like researching aliens and Bigfoot, and it's like I don't get up in the morning and be like, all day I'm going to look about Bigfoot. No, it's just whatever comes across my path. I just read it, I watch it, I take it in. Somebody puts me on something, I'll watch it. Like guy at work is like puts me on different stuff all the time. I'm sure we could do an episode later on about the stuff he's put me on, about Hollow Earth and different stuff, theories on that. And it's cool because like I'll watch like this giant 2-hour video about Hollow Earth, and then a week later I'm watching Greg and Dana do a remote viewing live with their museum members, and I'm like synchronizing what they're seeing and experiencing with Hollow Earth and all the theories that were on that video. And it's like, to me, it's synchronizing that. And I don't know if they know anything about that video or that Hollow Earth theory and all the information that's there, but to me it was synchronizing. And it was crazy to me, like, holy cow, like when you get a synchronicity, it gets you excited. You're like, and it, like, oh my god, I can't believe. So, and it's funny that things like that happen. So I'm having this Hollow Earth video that I'm researching, and just before that the Haunted Objects podcast came out about Mekele-Membe, the dinosaur in the Congo that people have gone looking for. Okay, so we have that, then we have Hollow Earth, then we have them do the remote viewing trying to review the Congo and Mekele-Membe. And then I go to a toy convention with my brother.
Okay.
And while I'm at the convention, I'm looking through this guy. He's a dealer of like non-sports trading cards. So he has everything. Like Ninja Turtles, Batman, all the different movies from like your childhood, all retro stuff.
Okay.
And I'm going through the box of like random packs from the old school stuff he has. And don't I pull up the movie Baby about the dinosaur.
Send me a picture of that.
And they had been talking about it on the Newkirk stuff. Had been talking about this movie during their podcast. And I pull up this pack of cards and I'm like, what is the chance that this presents itself to me as a synchronicity, that it shows up after I had already heard. I'm getting goosebumps talking about this.
Yeah, you are.
That this shows up like after all that stuff had like researched.
Synchronicity's real, man.
It's wild. You want to talk about trippy stuff? We're watching, when we watch our fireside chats or our experiments with the membership to the Newkirk Museum, we'll be sitting here and my girlfriend will say something, and not 2 seconds later Greg Newkirk will say it on the TV stream. And it's happened not once, twice.
That's crazy.
Like where she's just like, oh, it's this and this, and then Greg goes, how about this and this? And it's the same. They literally said the same thing, word for word. And it's not like we're live to them. We're just watching their live stream. That blows my mind. And the second time it happened, they have a chat while you're watching the stream, and I mention it. Yo, that's wild. She just said the exact same thing 1 second, 2 seconds ago. Sure enough, don't 3 other people say the same thing has happened to me during streams? That I've said something and Greg or Dana has literally said word for word the exact same sentence 1 or 2 seconds later.
Yeah, man.
That's wild. Like,
yeah. Well, look how in touch they are.
How does that energy, like, you know what I mean? It opens up all kinds of questions.
It's because their energy is so, like, their self-energy is so in touch with the synchronicity world, right? Like, it's not like an on-purpose thing. It just so happens that their thoughts are so in sync with everybody else's thoughts, whether they realize it or not. That's my belief on it.
So do you think our listeners listen to our topics and then experience a synchronicity to something we were talking about? Do you think that happens? That, you know, and all the things out of all the things that we ask people to reach out to us about,
Mm-hmm.
tell us your stories, tell us all this and that, that would be my number one. I would love to hear somebody had a synchronicity experience
With us.
based off of something we had talked about,
Uh-huh.
and then all of a sudden they experienced something.
That'd be crazy.
Right?
I know one person for sure.
Like somebody's already told you?
No, I know one person for sure would reach out and say, "Oh yeah, that happened to me."
Okay. Well, we'll see if that happens. I don't know what it'll be. We'll see if that happens.
And I'll give you the name after.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. It'd be really cool if you have synchronicity. You know what? Any synchronicity. I love. That's one of the things with Unknown. The synchronicities are so cool, and when they happen, it's absolutely
It's mind blowing.
It is.
Mind blowing.
It is. It really is. And people don't realize that it's more paid attention to now, synchronicities, than it used to be in the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We actually, in the last couple days, my wife and I have had a couple synchronicities where we were talking about something. Okay, so as funny as it is, this is a perfect example. Earlier during the day, I was talking about how much I'd want a Arby's roast beef sandwich with curly fries.
Uh-huh.
Show up to the Austria Generals game. We get a flyer. What's on it? Arby's. I'm like, are you kidding me?
That to me, that's putting something out in the universe. I got a guy I work with. I don't even know if he listens to our podcast. He'll tell me if he heard this, though.
Okay.
All the time, he will put something, like he'll say something and put it out in the universe, and at an unknown timing, something very similar to what he says happens.
Manifestation?
Yeah, kind of. Like, and it's to the point where it's like, we joke, and I'm like, hey man, so I'd really like to get off early today. Can you put that out in the universe for me?
Has it ever happened?
Yes. Mind blowing.
So I am a huge advocate on manifestation. If you manifest something, one way or the other, in one form, it'll happen.
Right?
I've been manifesting something for a long time that I've been keeping to myself that I want to share with you, but I don't.
Okay.
That I hope happens for us.
All right. You got to manifest
as a shared experience.
You want me to become rich and famous?
Okay.
Who knows about rich and famous?
Honestly, man, like, this is what I like. This is one of our first episodes of doing something like this.
Okay.
Just going off, riffing off about whatever. And it gives me so many different ideas to do different things, to talk about different things. What to bring as the self-proclaimed content director.
Okay.
It kind of gives...
You gave yourself a title.
Yeah, I'm a content director. You're the media director.
Okay.
It kind of gives me the idea of what we can talk about in future episodes. Like, as far as manifestation, is it a real thing? Synchronicity, is it a real thing?
Or is it just coincidence? Who knows?
Exactly. Right? There's so many things that we haven't even hit yet that are going to come to these guys. That what I love is that you do your research, I do my minimal. For whatever reason, I could sit here and talk about pretty well anything to do with the occult for like an hour. And for some reason, I have some sort of information about it. Whether I've heard about it, had experience with it, seen it, felt it, dreamt it, whatever the case. That's what I love about the unknown. Is there's so much out there, and I've said this before, and I will say it again. The great thing about the unknown is there's information out there for us to talk about any of this. And that's what makes this the best subject matter.
I thought you were going to say that's what makes this a haunted podcast.
I wish. One day.
So, listen, about putting stuff out in the universe, you can do it by accident, too. So, I did it by accident. I was talking to somebody about stuff, and one of the experiences I was talking about, no matter what car I own over time, ever since my grandmother passed in 2004, no matter what car I own, at given random points of time,
Mm-hmm.
I will get a knock on the back left window of the car, on a four-door car, or the back window on the left. It'll be like a knock, 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 knock on the window, and it can be while I'm driving, while I'm parked, whatever. And every once in a while it happens, and I do believe my mother said that has happened to her as well, and that's why we believe it is my grandmother just saying, I'm with you, or I'm around, I'm looking, watching over, whatever.
That's cool.
Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just some energy. Who knows? Or maybe it's something scientifically explainable. I don't know. But it's weird that it's happened to every vehicle I've owned. And the person I was telling to, I was like, it happens so random that sometimes it doesn't happen for a long period of time. Like, it can go like 2-3 years.
When was the last time it's happened to you?
Today.
Is that why you brought it up?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, and that's why I say you can put something out in the universe by accident and make it happen. Because I would have just been talking about it this week, and then I was out today driving around, doing some running around.
You heard the knock, knock, knock.
And as I was pulling into a parking lot, I heard knock, knock, knock. It was really, really faint, but it was enough that I was like, there it is. And it happened. And I'm like, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
And to me, my experience that I take it with it, I'm like, right on, glad to know you're still there.
Yeah.
And then I just...
Whether it's her or something... to
awesome.
me, that sounds like a friendly energy.
It is. It doesn't...
Like a guardian angel.
That's all it does, is just kind of knocks to let you say, hey, I'm here.
Got your back still.
Yeah, I'm with you. You're not alone, whatever the case may be. And I don't dwell on it too long. I just kind of acknowledge it for like 1 second.
That would actually make me feel good.
And then I just carry on about my day.
100%.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, you can put stuff out there and it'll happen.
Yeah.
So.
And that's okay.
So what
that's good.
What do we want to put out there? Is there something new we want to put out?
I got some things that I've been working on in my head.
You sound like you got some like really complicated ones. Like, I'm hoping I could just like have a slice of pizza later or something.
Oh, I'm so hungry. Definitely working on that.
We need to do a foodie episode.
Can we do mukbangs?
Do what?
Mukbangs.
Mukbangs?
Yeah, where you eat so much food. Isn't that what it is? A mukbang? I can rate food too.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, I never said that. Putting it out in the universe, I never said that.
Never heard of mukbang.
Mukbang. Okay, so this is going to be one of the first episodes that I sit here and do a quick little bit of research. What is
a
mukbang?
Oh my god. Let me tell you, I told you guys I would tell you about a little girl in the woods. I'm out with a Durham paranormal team. We're doing an investigation. And we go to this remote location that is now a wooded location. And everything is grown over. And we decide, one of the guys with us wants to look for an old foundation.
Hard pause. I found the definition.
Okay, I'll come back to it. So, we're looking for the foundation of an old mill.
What a mukbang is.
Give me a minute, man. Telling a story here. We go to look at this location. I'm not gonna drag this one out. It'll be quick. He's looking for relics in the ground, trying to find old stuff with his metal detector.
Same guy that found the letters, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
And we're using our equipment, EVP recorders and stuff, looking for spirits, see if we can get any activity. And time passes, a few hours, whatever. And I start to get, and I'm not sensitive by any means. I don't claim to be any type of sensitive or ability type person, although I have theories on all that stuff. But anyways, I get this feeling, I'm like, we need to leave. And I look at my boy Rick, and he was on the team, and he was like, what do you, we'll gather everybody together and we'll just leave. I'm like, no, we need to leave right now. Like, I don't know why. I just have this overwhelming feeling of almost like fear.
Okay.
That I need to go now. And I had just finished explaining like to him that I need to go, and all of a sudden I hear this little girl, is the only way I can explain it. and she starts singing.
Mm-mm.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the woods, no houses around anywhere for miles. And we just hear this little girl, la 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 la.
Fuck.
It's almost like she's dancing and frolicking through the woods. That immediately sent the biggest chill down my spine.
He's sending chills down my spine right now.
And we ran so fast out of there. I was not the fastest guy, not the fastest runner, but on that day, the guys that were the fastest runner, Rick, couldn't run fast enough. I was pushing them. Like, get the hell out of here now.
We need to bounce.
You know what the thing is? I can't find that location. I tried to go back and find that location. I think I know where it is.
Okay, I'd love to try.
But the brush is so overgrown that you can't get in. It's like
I got a machete.
I'm telling you, like, it's overgrown. Like, it's thick. Anyways. Tell that's my little girl ghost.
Oh God, dude!
Spirit children, hearing them creeps the hell out of me.
I can deal with poltergeist. I could deal with ghosts and dead kids, like the ghost of dead kid.
No,
I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot do it. My wife will attest to that. She says that if there's one thing that... Sorry, she doesn't say. I tell her all the time. If there's one thing I can't handle in a scary movie, it's a dead kid. Nope, hard pass. Definition of a mukbang.
Okay.
Especially in South Korea. A video, especially one that is live streamed, that features a person eating a large quantity of food and addressing the audience. Mukbang. So it would be us eating a large quantity of food while on a live stream.
Do you have to be Korean?
No, you don't have to be Korean.
That's so racist. Don't say it like that. That's horrible.
Is that racist if it's accurate?
No. Stop.
Anyways, guys, that was this week's episode of Elements of the Unknown. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining us. And until next time,
stay spooky.
Stay weird.